So welcome to those who know me and who have come back to listen to another one. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michele Buster, and I have been selling cheese every day for about 27 years now. This is Omorro, and this is the first cheese that we have. So hopefully, if you read the notes, it was a softer cheese is better to leave out at least 2 hours, and the Omorro Amanteigado 2 hours and beyond, because these cheeses have to be soft and creamy. It's also true that, they have an evolution. So depending at the time that the retailer might get them to when you get them, they might be softer or a little bit more semi-soft to the firm side. But this is a very fun cheese. We're in the middle of the Azores here, and where the red dot is, this is Horta. This is the main town on the island of Faial. And in front of it, where you see Magdalena and Laje de Pico and San Roque de Pico, that's another island where we just are starting a new cheese from there. Velash is São Jorge. We'll be back here for the São Jorge cheese. Where you see Angra de Heroísmo, that's the last place I was right before the pandemic hit. I was invited to speak at a cheese conference there, and I found groundbreaking new cheeses, and I'm excited to be able to introduce them in the next months to the States, but it'll take some time. And then all the way on your left is Flores. It's the westernmost part of Europe. They say that, once you get to the island of Flores, you're lucky to get off. And I went, and it's really hard because the weather is very unstable. There's a lot of rain. That's why it's called the Island of Flowers. I couldn't see anything for 4 days because it was just shrouded in rain and in mist. So I missed seeing all of the gorgeous flowers. And I had to buy an extra plane ticket to get off because there was no guarantee that I was going to get off the day I needed to go, and I needed to be in Italy. So it was kind of crazy. Anyway, back to Horta. Faial is where my producer is. It's a teeny, 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 tiny producer. There's just 3 people in the plant making this wonderful little cow's milk cheese. And I was fortuitously in the main town and went to a cheese shop and tasted about 10 cheeses. And when I tasted this one, I said, oh my God, I, want to see if I can work with these people. So the cheese shop owner gave me their phone number, and I was traveling. At that point, it was kind of, I was on another island. I came over there, and I was traveling for myself. And I just called them on the phone and I said, hi, I'm a cheese importer in New York. Can I come visit you? And let's go to the next slide so I can show you the people. And they were just like, oh, okay, we'll come pick you up. And after that visit, we started working together. So it's really, really fun. So here's just this view is actually the same one that's on the label. It's some of the landscape of Faial. It's pretty dry and rocky, but up in the center, there's plenty of areas for the cows to graze lusciously. And Rui, who's the main cheesemaker, with his brother and his brother's wife, are the people dedicated to making cheese in this place. So here we have Rui all the way to the left, Marcia's husband, and I'm drawing a blank, and another lady. And Rui came and showed me his new cow, his calf, which was super cute. The cheese, if you notice the name Amanteigado in Portuguese means buttery. And so there's this very unusual type of cheese that only is made in Portugal and in Western Spain. And it's these soft, creamy cheeses. In Spain, they call it a torta. And in Portugal, they call it Amanteigado. And for them, it just is like a soft, buttery cheese. And it just has this allure that's amazing. Most of the Amanteigado styles are made with thistle rennet as a flower. So like a thistle being the purple flower that we should see it later that has the stamens. But this gives the flavor in the cheese a bit more floral, a lighter quality, and helps to make that really kind of creamy, thick consistency. I would, besides the honey, I would pair this with, we do something called a mostarda, which is slices of fruit that have been candied for a long period of time in sugar. And then there's a spicy mustard extract. So what comes to mind is a green tomato mostarda, which would be really fun, having it with cheese. This is something that you could use kind of as a fondue style. You could spread it on bread and just grill it, but it's super fun, easy, and you don't need to write a dissertation about it. We'll show you some pictures from their plant in the cheese making process. This is the curd. So this is just some of the production facilities that you see where the tanks, the milk goes in, they'll add the rennet, they'll have a stirrer that will turn around and cut the curd. A softer cheese is going to have a larger curd style. A more aged cheese will have a smaller, more like a grain of rice or a chickpea. So it's very important for how little or how much that you might turn the lira, which is this machine here with all the bars. That's what breaks down the curd. And the larger the curd, the more the moisture stays in. So you have a softer, creamier cheese. The more that you keep agitating and turning and stirring, you are squeezing the whey from the cheese. And the whole process when you make cheese, when you convert it, you need to separate the cheese from the whey. So over here, he's pouring out the curd, and the curd goes into the molds. The molds are perforated so that the whey can come out, and all the liquid is the draining here. And so this just is in the process of separating the curds from the whey. And with younger cheeses, with more mild cheeses, it's crucial to get that separation of curds and whey as quickly as possible so that the whey itself doesn't turn the curd bitter. Here's just so you can see some cheeses aging in the room. I don't know if you can get the scale of size, but it's teeny. They're just these, like your bedroom's gonna be bigger than their aging room. And they tend to make the same style of cheese. If you notice all the way in the back, some of them, there's like a white cloth around them. Portugal is famous for wrapping the outer part of their cheeses with a cloth, and you'll see that with the Omorro Amanteigado. And this is because this style of cheese is so soft, they want to keep the shape. So that helps to keep the shape almost like a girdle. And in some instances, if you're manually brushing it, because the cheeses are going to have some mold, and then they brush it and to clean them, sometimes you nick the rind and it'll start to come out. And so they also might bandage it. So it can be considered a bandage as well. And then others just use it for beauty because it's something that is so characteristic to see. Next slide, please. Oh, wait, I see a question. Hang on. What happens with the whey? Good question. They make ricotta, or let's see. This is in Portuguese, they call it requeijão. So they'll take all the whey, they will cook the whey. Depending on your country, they'll add some milk, or they'll add, in Italy, you might add cream, or you might just cook the milk and the whey, which is the extract. And then that becomes ricotta, requeijão. And the really big industrial companies might dry their whey and then sell it off to other people. If there's excess whey, a lot of people will feed it to the pigs, as is famous in Italy from the Parmigiano whey that go into the pigs for feed. It's very, very healthy for pigs for the feed. Good question. Thank you. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Since we fly our cheeses in, I went with some of our more regular ones. We do have more esoteric cheeses that are out there, and in specialty stores, they tend to carry more Portuguese cheeses, but it takes a long time to explain them. And so we bring everything by plane, and we bring some things by pre-order only, so that when it gets here, we know exactly where it's going, and those people have a longer shelf life to sell the cheese, because these are, they don't last a long time, or they're not something that we can store in our warehouse for a really long time, and we want the cheese to be happy. Other than that, I thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It's always my honor and pleasure, and hopefully we'll be doing some things more. I think I'm going to take a break for a few months, because times are changing and people want to be away from the computer and out in nature. So thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Michele. That was really wonderful. So for those that are looking to get more cheese, you know, they should be able to go through Verdun,
To Bruno.
yes. And I would check through there to see whether or not they've picked up some more, or you can always check with them and ask them. It's always a good idea that instead of just going on there and seeing that they're out of stock, they can sometimes tell you when they plan on getting something in and some of the things you can do.
You can
So,
write me. You can write me at Michelle with one L at forevercheese.com, and I'll help make it happen. I did talk to them and tell them that, you know, there was a number of people who signed on after they closed the ability to get cheese. So they said that they would build in some. So please, and otherwise you can also write to me and let me know where you're located, and I could maybe help you get another retailer in your area.
thank you. And for those of you that are first time on this, we also have Taste of Italy, Taste of Croatia, that we've already had a chance to do, and including Taste of Spain. So this makes our fourth in the series. And hopefully by fall, we'll have the charcuterie together and
Yay.
tie that in for our number 5.
Thank you so much, Michael.
All
Appreciate
right,
it. Thank
thank you,
you,
Michelle.
everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.